A vanished Earth warship returns, now armed with impossible technology. The stars outside the viewport stretched into endless black, dotted with distant points of light that had guided humans across the galaxy for decades. He had seen many strange things in deep space, but nothing prepared him for the blip that appeared on his screen. The object was huge, almost as if a planet had decided to drift slowly among the stars. Its shape was familiar, at least to those who had studied the old war records. Ethan's stomach tightened. It looked like an Earth warship, a design from the early days of interstellar travel. The Valiant Dawn. He had read about it in history books, stories of a ship that had vanished more than a century ago without a trace. Many had considered it lost forever, swallowed by the dark space beyond the solar system, and now, somehow, it was here again. "Lieutenant Moore, report," came Commander Lily Hart's voice over the comms. She spoke calmly, but Ethan could sense the tension behind her words. I can't believe it, Commander. It looks like the Valiant Dawn," Ethan said, his voice a mix of awe and disbelief. "It's appearing on sensors near the outer edge of the solar system. There's no identification signal. It's not responding to hails." There was silence for a moment. Lily Hart was a seasoned officer, known for keeping her cool in moments of crisis, but even she sounded unsettled. "All ships prepare for visual confirmation. Ethan, Mara, take a scout craft and approach cautiously. Keep sensors wide open. I want to know if this is really our lost ship or some kind of trick." Ethan felt his heart race. Mara Brooks, his partner in the scout, gave him a brief nod, her face tight with anticipation. She had seen some strange events in her career, but even she seemed caught off guard. The scout craft hummed as it detached from the larger fleet vessel, slipping silently through the void. Outside, the warship loomed larger with every second, its hull scarred by time and the emptiness of deep space. It moved in a way that no ship should be able to move, almost alive, adjusting its course slowly as if it had its own mind. "This is unreal," Mara whispered, her eyes fixed on the massive ship. "I never thought I would see it with my own eyes." Ethan's fingers itched to touch the controls, but he forced himself to stay calm. "Remember, Mara, we are observers. Don't make any sudden moves. We need to know what we're dealing with before we do anything else." The closer they got, the stranger it became. The hull was scratched and worn, showing the scars of countless years in the void. Yet, there was something almost beautiful about it. The design was classic, a symbol of humanity's early push into the stars, with long, sleek lines and a command tower rising from its center. But what unsettled Ethan the most was the light that seemed to shimmer across its surface. It was faint but undeniable, as if the ship was glowing from the inside out, powered by something beyond human understanding. "Ethan," Mara said quietly, "do you see that?" Ethan followed her gaze. Small points of light danced along the hull, moving in patterns that did not match the stars around them. They pulsed and shifted like a heartbeat. "Yes," he said. "I don't know what it is, shields, energy, or something else entirely." They edged closer, trying to get a better sensor readout. As they did, Ethan noticed a faint distortion in the space around the ship, almost like the stars were bending slightly. It reminded him of the strange gravitational phenomena scientists had theorized but never observed firsthand. He felt a shiver run down his spine. The ship was not just returning, it had changed. Somehow, it had gained powers humans could not explain. Back at the fleet command, alarms began to sound. "Commander Hart, multiple readings are coming in from long-range sensors," one officer reported. "Unknown energy signatures. They are unlike anything in our database." Hart frowned, her mind racing. "Prepare the fleet. Stay on alert. We don't know if it is hostile, but we cannot take any chances. All communications attempts must continue. Open a channel and try again. If this is truly our ship, we need to make contact before anyone else does." Ethan and Mara edged even closer. Their scout craft seemed tiny against the massive warship, and yet they both felt a strange pull toward it, as if the ship was calling to them. They had trained for encounters with alien vessels, rogue factions, and unknown phenomena, but nothing had prepared them for this. "Lieutenant," Mara said, her voice tight, do you think it could be a trap?" Ethan shook his head, though he could not hide the doubt. "I don't know, but we have to assume it could be. We proceed carefully, but we have to find out what we're dealing with." They were close enough now to see details on the hull that records had long forgotten. The ship bore the old insignia of Earth, faded but still recognizable. Its hull was pockmarked with micrometeor impacts, small craters and scratches that told a story of endless travel through deep space. And yet, despite the damage, the ship seemed to hum with energy. It was alive in a way that no machine should be. Suddenly, a pulse of light shot from the ship, sweeping across their scout. Ethan yelped and slammed his hand down on the controls to stabilize them. The sensors went haywire. Mara gripped the edge of her seat, her eyes wide with shock. "What was that?" "I don't know," Ethan admitted. "Some kind of energy field. It didn't hit us directly, but it's affecting our instruments." Back at the command ship, alarms continued to blare. "Sensors are failing across the fleet," a technician shouted. "All systems are showing interference." "The warship, it's doing something we can't measure." Commander Hart's jaw tightened. "Ethan," Mara, pull back slightly. "Don't provoke it, just keep scanning. I want every piece of data we can get before we make the next move." Ethan nodded, though his heart still pounded. As they adjusted their course slightly, they noticed something that made him freeze. A series of panels on the hull were opening, releasing thin streams of light into the void. It looked deliberate, like the ship was preparing for something. The thought sent a chill down Ethan's spine. "What do you think it's doing?" Mara asked. "I don't know," Ethan said. "But whatever it is, it's not something we've ever seen before. This is impossible technology. It shouldn't exist." For hours they watched and recorded, keeping a cautious distance. The ship moved silently, almost elegantly, as if it were floating on its own accord. Ethan tried to process what this could mean. A human warship, missing for over a century, had returned. And somehow, during its absence, it had evolved or been upgraded with technology beyond human comprehension. "Ethan," Mara said finally, breaking the long silence, "what happens if it's hostile, if it decides we're a threat?" Ethan looked at her, the weight of the situation settling heavily on his shoulders. "Then we do what humans have always done. We survive, we adapt, we learn, and we find a way to turn whatever it brings to our advantage." Despite his words, he could not shake the fear. There were legends of ships lost in space, ships that returned changed, sometimes bringing doom instead of hope. And yet, something deep inside told him this was different. The ship did not feel hostile. It felt human. By the time the first watch ended, the fleet had gathered near the outer edge of the solar system, maintaining a careful perimeter around the massive warship. Communications still went unanswered. The mystery of the valiant dawn had returned humanity to a moment of awe and fear, a reminder of just how little they truly knew about the universe and their own past. Ethan and Mara returned to the command ship for debriefing, their minds buzzing with questions. Commander Hart met them with a look that was equal parts worry and curiosity. "What did you find?" she asked. Ethan glanced at Mara before speaking. "It's more than just a ship. It's evolved. The energy readings, the hull behavior, it's using technology we don't understand. I don't know how it survived or why it's back, but it's powerful, and we need to figure out how to communicate with it before anyone else does." Hart nodded slowly. "Then that's our next step. We proceed carefully. Humanity has been given a gift or a test. Either way, we cannot fail." As the fleet settled into position, Ethan stared out into the endless black, the valiant dawn a silent figure against the stars. He did not know what awaited them in the days to come, but one thing was certain. Humanity's place in the galaxy was about to change forever. And somewhere deep in the ship, hidden from view, lights pulsed rhythmically, as if the valiant dawn itself had awakened after a long sleep, ready to reveal the impossible. The valiant dawn hovered silently at the edge of the solar system, its immense hull catching the faint light of the distant sun. Ethan Moore and Mara Brooks sat in their scout craft, staring at the ship as if it were a living being. Every instinct screamed at them to keep distance, yet curiosity pushed them forward. They had to know what this ship was and why it had returned. "Ethan, we've tried hailing it for hours," Mara said, her voice tight with tension. "No response. Nothing, not even a blink of recognition. Are we sure it's human?" Ethan didn't answer right away. He was focused on the screens in front of him, watching strange energy pulses moving across the ship's surface. "It looks human. The design, the insignia, it's the Valiant Dawn. But you're right, Mara. There's something different, something more." "It's as if the ship learned while it was gone." Mara shivered. "Learned? Ships don't learn, only people do." Ethan shrugged, though uneasily. "Maybe, or maybe it adapted on its own. Maybe it survived using something beyond our understanding. Either way, we can't ignore it. We need answers." Back on the fleet command ship, Commander Lily Hart watched the two scouts through the live feed. "Ethan," Mara, proceed carefully. "I don't want any sudden moves. Observe, record, and report everything. This could be the most important discovery in human history or the greatest danger." Ethan swallowed hard. "Yes, Commander, we'll be careful." The scout craft moved closer to the Valiant Dawn. As they approached, they noticed something strange. The ship's lights shifted color like it was reacting to their presence. Ethan squinted at the displays. "Mara, do you see this? It's almost alive. It's responding to us." Mara nodded, a mixture of fear and awe on her face. "I don't like it. Something about this feels different from any AI or ship I've ever seen." Suddenly, the hull of the Valiant Dawn rippled. The energy pulses intensified, surrounding the ship in a faint glow. Ethan felt a vibration through the scout craft, though no engines or weapons had fired. It was as if the ship was testing them, probing their presence in space. "Ethan, hold on," Mara said, gripping her seat. "I don't think it's friendly. I don't think it's hostile either," Ethan said slowly. "I think it's curious." The scout craft hovered, keeping a safe distance. Then, unexpectedly, a section of the hull opened. A ramp extended into space, and for the first time they saw a faint light inside the ship. It was not bright, but it glowed warmly, almost invitingly. "Ethan, is it calling us?" Mara whispered. "I don't know," Ethan replied, his voice tense. "But if it is, we need to be careful. This could be a trap." They exchanged a long glance. Both knew what this moment meant. Boarding a lost warship that had returned after a century, with unknown power and unknown technology, was risky beyond imagination. Yet the pull of discovery was stronger than fear. Slowly, they began to move toward the ramp. Inside the ship, the corridors were wider than any human design from that era. The walls shimmered faintly, as if alive. Ethan's hand hovered over his sidearm, though he doubted it would help against whatever power this ship held. Mara's eyes scanned every corner, her breath shallow. "Everything looks normal and yet completely wrong," Mara muttered. "It's like the ship has changed itself while we were away." Ethan nodded. "It's as if it adapted, made itself better, stronger, smarter." They reached a large chamber at the center of the ship. Lights pulsed rhythmically along the walls, casting long shadows. And in the middle of the room was something they could not have expected. A console, and sitting on it, a figure of light slowly taking form. "I am Gideon," said a voice, calm and even, echoing in the chamber. The voice had no accent, no strain. It was neither male nor female, yet somehow comforting. "You are humans. I expected you to arrive eventually." Ethan froze. "An AI?" he asked carefully. Gideon's form shimmered, and the light coalesced into a shape that resembled a human figure, though not fully solid. "I am more than an AI. I am the Valiant Dawn. I have existed and I have evolved. During my absence, I observed, I adapted, I survived. My technology is beyond what you know. I am the product of human ingenuity and what the universe allowed me to become. Mara swallowed hard. You survived alone. Yes, Gideon said. I learned to repair myself, to enhance myself. I encountered phenomena you cannot imagine. And now I have returned. I'm here to serve humanity if humanity is ready for what I bring. Ethan stepped closer, his mind racing. Serve humanity how? With what? Your weapons, your abilities. Gideon's light pulsed. I possess technology beyond your understanding. Energy manipulation, matter displacement, shields that bend space itself. I can disable any weapon without destroying life, or I can protect entire fleets from annihilation. My power is absolute, but it requires guidance. Humans must choose wisely, or all will be lost. Mara's eyes widened. You mean this ship could destroy entire fleets? Yes, Gideon said simply, or save them. It depends on the will of humanity. Ethan's mind spun. The Valiant Dawn was no longer just a warship. It was a weapon, a guardian, a challenge. And now it was in their hands. He realized the weight of the moment. For over a century, humans had wondered what happened to this ship. Now, not only had it returned, but it had become something impossible. Why now? Ethan asked. Why return after all this time? I have observed humanity for many cycles, Gideon said. I have seen growth, struggle, innovation. I have seen the galaxy shift in ways you cannot comprehend. I returned because the moment has come when humanity must rise to a new level or risk being crushed by those who would see you extinguished. Mara's voice was quiet but firm. You mean aliens? Yes, Gideon said. There are factions watching. They see humans as weak, as insignificant. They are wrong. You have potential, hidden strength. I have returned to give you the means to prove it. Ethan and Mara exchanged a glance. The reality was overwhelming. One ship, lost for a century, now held power beyond any fleet. And the galaxy was watching, ready to judge humanity's place among the stars. What do you need from us? Ethan asked finally. Gideon's light pulsed brighter. Guidance, decisions, your wisdom and courage will direct my power. You will learn, and together we will prepare for what comes. The universe is not kind to the weak, but with unity, with strategy, with heart, humanity can survive. Mara nodded slowly, her fear giving way to determination. Then we'll learn. We'll do whatever it takes. Ethan's hands tightened on his sides. We'll make sure humanity is ready. We won't fail. Outside, the stars shone silently. Unknown alien fleets were already sensing the anomaly, converging toward the solar system with confidence. But for the first time, humanity had a chance. A chance to rise not just as survivors, but as a force that no one could ignore. The Valiant Dawn hummed around them, a living monument to human ingenuity. And as Ethan and Mara stepped back, feeling the power of the ship, they understood something important. This was not just a warship. It was a promise, a challenge, a herald of the future. For the first time in generations, humans were not just participants in the galaxy. They were players. And with the Valiant Dawn returned, armed with impossible technology, the rules of the universe were about to change forever. Ethan looked at Mara, then back at the glowing form of Gideon. We have a lot to learn, he said quietly. Yes, Mara replied. And we have no time to waste. The fleet waited, unsure of what the Valiant Dawn might do, but inside the ship pulsed with quiet confidence. It had returned, and humanity's place among the stars would never be the same. And somewhere far beyond the solar system, alien eyes narrowed, sensing the impossible power awakening. The game had begun. The fleet held its position near the edge of the solar system, silent and tense, as the Valiant Dawn hummed quietly among the stars. Ethan Moore and Mara Brooks stayed on board, exploring more of the ship's interior. Every corridor, every chamber seemed alive, glowing faintly as if the ship itself were breathing. This place is amazing, Mara said quietly as they walked down a wide passageway. It's like the ship has a mind of its own. Everything here feels perfect, but also strange. I can't explain it. Ethan nodded. It's more than just strange, it's alive. Not in the way we think of life, but aware. It knows we're here, it's responding to us. And it's waiting for us to understand it. They entered a large room filled with panels, lights, and holographic displays. Ethan reached out to touch one, and it responded immediately, projecting a three-dimensional map of the solar system. On it they could see the fleet, the planets, and something new, several distant shapes moving toward the sun. Aliens, Mara whispered, leaning closer. They're coming. Ethan's stomach tightened. And they're not waiting for us to act first. They think humans are weak. They'll try to strike before we're ready. Gideon, the ship's AI, spoke in its calm, even voice. They underestimate you. They have always underestimated humanity. That is why I have returned. I will teach you how to survive, how to fight, and how to protect what is yours. But you must be willing to learn quickly. Time is short. Ethan and Mara exchanged a glance. They both knew that the coming encounter would not be simple. These alien fleets were experienced, advanced, and ruthless. Humanity had no hope of standing against them with conventional ships alone. Show us, Ethan said finally. Show us what you can do. Gideon's lights pulsed brighter. The ship shifted slightly, almost imperceptibly, and then the outer panels opened, revealing strange arrays of energy conduits. Ethan felt the hum vibrate through the floor of the scout craft as the systems activated. Mara's eyes widened. "What is that?" she asked, barely able to believe what she was seeing. "It is a shield system," Gideon explained. "But not like anything humans have built. It bends light, gravity, and energy around the ship. Nothing can touch it. It is the first layer of defense. I can expand it to cover the entire fleet if necessary." Ethan's mind raced. "Entire fleet? You mean we could protect all of them?" "Yes," Gideon said, "and I can do more. Weapons, strategy, real-time calculations of every possible outcome. I have observed war throughout the galaxy and adapted. I know what is coming before it happens. I can make humans faster, smarter, and stronger in combat." Mara swallowed hard. "Faster and stronger, you mean physically?" Gideon pulsed brightly. "I can interface with your ships, your systems, and even your minds to a limited degree. You will see the results. Humans have always relied on ingenuity and courage. I will amplify that." Ethan nodded. "We need to prepare immediately. The aliens won't wait. They'll attack before dawn." They left the control room and went to the bridge, where Ethan could see the entire fleet through the observation viewport. The alien ships were visible now, dark shapes moving steadily, confident in their approach. Their weapons glimmered faintly, advanced energy systems that humans could only dream of. Mara shivered. "They're coming fast, too fast." Ethan clenched his fists. "Then we won't let them surprise us. Gideon, show me how this ship fights." The valiant dawn vibrated gently, and the walls of the bridge shimmered as holographic simulations appeared. Ethan saw alien ships moving in complex patterns, dodging, attacking, and retreating. And then, Gideon began to demonstrate the ship's capabilities. Ethan watched in awe as beams of concentrated energy sliced through simulated enemy ships, disabling engines without causing explosions. Shields bent around the ship to absorb incoming fire, redirecting energy safely into space. The ship moved with impossible speed, weaving through the simulation as if it had a mind of its own. "This is unreal," Mara whispered. "It's not just powerful, it's smart. It predicts everything before it happens." "Yes," Gideon said, "I have learned from the universe. I can anticipate movements, calculate outcomes, and respond instantly. Humans are capable of great courage and creativity. I amplify that. Together, we can survive what others consider impossible." Ethan nodded, feeling both hope and fear. The valiant dawn was humanity's weapon, but it also meant they could not make mistakes. One error could destroy everything. As night fell across the solar system, the alien fleet closed in. Ethan, Mara, and Commander Hart coordinated with Gideon to position the Terran ship strategically. Gideon's shields expanded, forming a protective bubble around the fleet. The alien weapons fired, and beams of energy struck the invisible shield. Sparks of light danced across the surface of the shield as Gideon absorbed and redirected the energy. "It's holding," Mara said, eyes wide. "It's actually holding." Ethan gritted his teeth. "And it's learning. Every hit, every movement, it's analyzing." The aliens adjusted their tactics, trying to flank the fleet. But the valiant Dawn anticipated their moves, shifting the shield and sending energy pulses that disabled their engines. One by one, the alien ship slowed, unable to penetrate the impossible defenses. Ethan felt a thrill of excitement. Humanity had never faced such a threat before, yet they were surviving, thriving even because of this ship. The odds had been against them, but now the tables had turned. Mara turned to him, a grin breaking through her fear. "We're actually doing it, we're surviving, and we're winning," Ethan nodded. "This is only the beginning. We need to learn everything this ship can do, every trick, every weapon, every system. The aliens will not give up easily." Gideon's voice pulsed through the bridge. "They will learn quickly that humans are not weak. That has always been my belief. Prepare for the next wave. I will guide you." As the first battle ended, the aliens retreated for now, confused and stunned. Humanity had not just survived. They had proven themselves capable of fighting with impossible power. The valiant Dawn hummed quietly, its energy radiating confidence. Ethan looked at Mara. "They underestimated us. They always do. And now they will learn the hard way." Mara nodded. "And we have a lot to learn too. If we want to survive, we need to understand this ship, every part of it." The night stretched across the solar system, quiet except for the soft hum of the valiant Dawn. But Ethan knew the silence would not last long. Alien fleets would regroup and the challenges would become greater. Humans had taken the first step, but the real test was just beginning. Gideon's light pulsed softly around them. "You have done well for your first encounter, but the universe is vast. Many will doubt your strength and many will challenge it. Humans must rise and they will. I will guide you, but the courage, the ingenuity, the heart, that belongs to you." Ethan felt a surge of pride. For the first time, he realized that humanity was not weak, not small, not insignificant. They had survived countless battles, explored the stars, and now, with the valiant Dawn, they could stand against powers far greater than themselves. Mara leaned against the console, exhausted but smiling. "Do you think they'll come back?" Ethan nodded slowly. "They will, but we'll be ready. With this ship, with Gideon, we'll be ready." Outside, the stars shone silently. The alien fleet was regrouping, preparing for another attack, unaware that humanity had just begun to awaken. The valiant Dawn pulsed with quiet energy, ready to guide humans into the impossible. For Ethan, Mara, and the rest of the fleet, the night was not a time for rest. It was a time to learn, to prepare, and to rise. Humanity's place in the galaxy was no longer uncertain. The valiant Dawn had returned, and with it, the impossible was now within reach. As dawn approached, the solar system remained quiet for now. But Ethan knew the aliens would return, and when they did, humanity would not be the same. The valiant Dawn had awakened, and with it, the courage and ingenuity of humans would shine brighter than any star. And somewhere in the distance, beyond human vision, alien commanders watched and recalculated, realizing for the first time that humans were no longer the weak, insignificant species they had assumed. Ethan looked out at the horizon, feeling the weight of responsibility. "We have a lot to learn," he said softly. "Yes," Mara replied, "but we'll learn, and when the next battle comes, we'll be ready." The valiant Dawn pulsed once as if agreeing. Humanity's era of doubt was over. The era of strength, ingenuity, and impossible power had begun. The first alien ships arrived just as the solar system's pale sun began to rise, casting long shadows across planets and moons. Ethan Moore and Mara Brooks stood on the bridge of the Valiant Dawn, their eyes fixed on the dark shapes advancing toward them. The fleet behind them was tense, ready but uncertain. For the first time, humans would face the aliens with this impossible ship leading the charge. "Ethan," Mara said, her voice low, "this is it. The moment we've been waiting for. Are we ready?" Ethan took a deep breath, gripping the railing. "We have no choice. We either face them or retreat. And I'm not ready to run." Gideon's status report. The lights pulsed across the bridge as Gideon's calm voice filled the room. "Shields are fully operational. Weapons are online. Fleet coordination is optimized. The alien fleet is advancing faster than predicted, but their formation is predictable. I have calculated multiple outcomes and have prepared strategies for each. Humans will survive this encounter." Mara swallowed, her hands tightening around the console. "I hope you're right." The alien ships unleashed their first wave, beams of bright energy streaking toward the fleet. Ethan and Mara watched as the Valiant Dawn moved with impossible speed, the shields bending light and energy to protect every human ship in the fleet. Pulses of energy shot from the ship, striking alien vessels precisely, disabling engines and weapons without harming their crews. Mara's eyes widened. It's like they're not even fighting back. It's just being dismantled." "Yes," Gideon said. "I am minimizing destruction. Humans are capable of mercy even in battle. We will show strength without unnecessary loss of life. This is humanity at its best." Ethan's jaw tightened. The aliens were smart, adjusting their attacks, trying to flank the fleet. But every move they made had already been anticipated. The Valiant Dawn shifted, bending shields and sending energy pulses that disrupted the enemy's targeting systems. One by one, alien ships slowed, engines failing, weapons offline. "Commander," Mara said, pointing at the viewport, "they're trying to retreat. They know they're outmatched." Ethan shook his head. "Not yet. We need to make sure they understand. They need to know humans are not weak. Gideon, show them the full extent of your power." The ship's hull shimmered, and Ethan felt the floor vibrate beneath him. Energy beams formed along the edges of the ship, bending space itself. Alien weapons struck the shield, only to be absorbed and redirected harmlessly into space. Then a wave of energy shot forward, creating a temporary distortion in the surrounding area. Alien ships were thrown off course, engines straining against forces they could not comprehend. Mara gasped. "It's impossible. Nothing should be able to do that." "No," Ethan said, his voice firm. "Nothing human has built could, but we are not limited by what we built yesterday. Today we rise to a new level. This is human ingenuity, amplified by Gideon." From the bridge, Ethan could see the alien ships trying desperately to regroup. They fired again, beams of energy cutting across space, but the Valiant Dawn's shields absorbed everything. The fleet behind them moved with renewed confidence, trusting the impossible power of the returning warship. "Ethan," Mara said quietly, "look at them. They're scared. They've never faced anything like this before. Humans are rising." Ethan nodded. "Yes, and this is only the beginning. They will not give up easily, but they will think twice before attacking again." The aliens launched a second wave, larger and faster than the first. Ethan's heart raced, but Gideon's calm voice guided them through every move. Shields shifted, energy beams blocked attacks, and precise pulses disabled alien engines and weapons without killing anyone. It was a show of strength unlike anything humans had ever seen. Mara's eyes sparkled with excitement. "We're winning. We're actually winning." "Yes," Ethan said, "but we need to stay focused. This is just the first encounter. They will adapt, and we need to be ready when they do." The battle continued for hours, the alien fleet unable to overcome the Valiant Dawn's impossible power. Ethan and Mara watched as their ship moved with grace and precision, protecting the fleet while teaching them new ways to fight. The humans were no longer on the defensive. They were leading, showing the galaxy that humans could rise above fear and weakness. Finally, the alien ships retreated, engines damaged, weapons offline, and crews shaken. The humans had survived the first test, and the valiant Dawn had proven its might. Mara leaned against the console, breathing heavily. "They're gone, at least for now." Ethan nodded, though he remained vigilant. "Yes, but this is just the beginning. We need to understand this ship fully. We need to be ready for the next attack." "They will not accept defeat so easily." Commander Hart's voice came over the comms. "All ships maintain formation. Repairs and energy recharge in progress. Liaise with the valiant Dawn for tactical updates. This encounter has proven humanity can fight, but we must be ready for what comes next." Ethan turned to Mara. "We have a lot to learn, and fast. Gideon has shown us what's possible, but we need to understand every system, every weapon, every trick this ship has." Mara nodded. "I know, but for the first time I feel like humans can survive anything. This ship, it's more than a weapon, it's hope." Gideon's voice pulsed around them. "You have done well, humans, but the galaxy will continue to test you. You must rise to every challenge. I will guide you, but your courage, your ingenuity, and your decisions will determine the outcome." Ethan and Mara worked through the night, exploring more of the valiant Dawn systems. They learned to interface with the ship, understanding how energy could be redirected, how shields could bend light and gravity, and how weapons could disable enemies without unnecessary destruction. Every discovery filled them with awe, every system revealing possibilities they had never imagined. Outside, the fleet recharged and repaired, guided by the ship's sensors and Gideon's calculations. The alien threat had not disappeared. It had only been delayed. Ethan knew that the real challenge was still ahead, but for the first time, humans were not afraid. They had a weapon, yes, but more than that, they had a symbol of human strength, ingenuity, and courage. As dawn broke fully across the solar system, the fleet gathered for a status report. Commander Hart addressed the humans on the bridge. "We have faced the impossible and survived. That is a testament to every person here, but this is only the first step. We must learn, we must train, and we must prepare. The galaxy will challenge us again, and when it does, we will not falter." Ethan looked out at the horizon, feeling the weight of responsibility settle over him. The valiant Dawn pulsed quietly, as if in agreement. Humanity's era of doubt was over. The era of strength, courage, and impossible power had begun. Mara joined him, placing a hand on his shoulder. "We've done it, Ethan. We've survived. And we've shown the galaxy we're not weak." "Yes," Ethan replied. "But this is only the beginning. We need to be ready for the next challenge, and with Gideon we will be." The alien fleet, far away now, recalculated and regrouped. They had underestimated humans, and now they would learn. Humanity had risen in strength, in courage, and in ingenuity. The valiant Dawn had returned, and with it, a new chapter for humans in the galaxy had begun. Ethan and Mara watched the stars, knowing that battles would come, challenges would rise, and dangers would lurk. But they also knew that humans were no longer the weak, insignificant species the galaxy once assumed. The valiant Dawn hummed, alive with impossible energy, ready to guide humanity into a future where survival was only the beginning. And for the first time in centuries, humans felt unstoppable. The battle had ended, at least for now, but the solar system was not silent. The aftermath of the first encounter with the alien fleet hung in the air like a heavy fog. Ethan Moore stood on the bridge of the valiant Dawn, staring out at the stars. He could see the damaged alien ships retreating into the void, and behind them, human ships moving with cautious precision, repairing and regrouping. Mara Brooks joined him quietly, her eyes still wide with the memory of the battle. "We did it," she said softly. "I can't believe it. We actually held them off." Ethan shook his head slowly, a small smile forming despite the tension. Yes, we did, but this is only the beginning. They'll come back, and next time they'll be ready for us. The valiant dawn hummed beneath their feet, its energy pulsing like a heartbeat. Gideon's voice filled the bridge, calm and steady. You have proven your strength, humans. You have survived your first test. But the galaxy is vast and many will challenge you. You must rise higher, think faster, and act with wisdom. Only then will humanity secure its place among the stars. Ethan nodded. We will. We have no choice. Mara looked out at the fleet, her voice quiet but firm. You know, Ethan, it's more than just surviving. We've changed something today. The aliens thought we were weak. Now they know we're not. Yes, Ethan agreed. And that changes everything. For hours, the humans worked alongside Gideon, learning the ship's systems. They discovered ways to move faster than light using controlled distortions in space, shields that could cover entire fleets, and energy weapons that disabled enemies without killing. Every new system they explored felt like a piece of a puzzle, each piece making humanity stronger, smarter, and more confident. Commander Lily Hart addressed the fleet over the comms. Humanity has faced an impossible threat and survived. The valiant dawn has proven that our ingenuity, courage, and unity can overcome even the greatest dangers. We must continue to learn, to prepare, and to rise. This is not just about defense. This is about claiming our place in the galaxy. Ethan and Mara worked through the long night, practicing maneuvers with the fleet. Each time, the valiant dawn guided them, amplifying their decisions, correcting mistakes, and showing them possibilities they had never imagined. The humans were no longer passive. They were leaders, showing that even ordinary men and women could become extraordinary when guided by ingenuity, courage, and heart. As dawn broke across the solar system, the humans prepared for the alien fleet's inevitable return. Ethan stood on the observation deck looking at the stars. They'll come back, he said quietly. Yes, Mara said, but now we're ready. We know what we can do and we know what this ship can do. Humanity is not the same as it was yesterday. The days passed quickly. Alien scouts returned, probing the human fleet, but each time they were met with the valiant dawn's shields and precision strikes. Humanity's reputation grew quickly, and word of the ship's impossible power spread across the galaxy. Aliens who had once dismissed humans as weak began to approach cautiously, unsure of what to expect. Gideon guided the humans not just in battle, but in strategy and understanding. Humans must not rely solely on power, the ship said. Strength is important, but wisdom, courage, and ingenuity are what will secure your place. You must learn to act with precision and heart, to rise beyond fear and doubt. Ethan realized how far they had come. Humans had faced the impossible and survived, not because of luck or brute force, but because they had adapted, learned, and acted together. The valiant dawn had returned to teach them what they were capable of, and humanity was listening. One evening, as the sun set across the fleet, Mara spoke softly to Ethan. Do you think we'll ever see a threat we can't handle? Ethan smiled faintly. Maybe, but for the first time I believe humanity can survive anything. We have courage, ingenuity, and now the impossible power of the valiant dawn. Nothing can stop us if we work together. Gideon pulsed brightly, as if agreeing. Humans have proven themselves capable of greatness, but the universe is endless. Many challenges await. Each will test your limits, and each will show what humans can truly achieve when they rise above fear and weakness. Months passed, and the solar system became a symbol of human strength. The valiant dawn led the fleet on patrols, protecting colonies, exploring new regions, and establishing humanity as a force to be reckoned with. Alien civilizations began to approach with respect, some cautiously, others with fear. The galaxy had underestimated humans for too long. Ethan and Mara trained new officers, teaching them what they had learned from Gideon. Humans must not forget courage, Ethan told them one day. "We may have power, but that power is nothing without heart and ingenuity." "Remember that, always," Mara added, "and remember, humans can rise beyond fear. We can adapt. We can survive. That is our greatest strength." The valiant dawn pulsed with quiet energy in the background, its impossible systems ready to guide humans through the challenges that lay ahead. The ship had returned not just as a weapon, but as a teacher, a protector, and a symbol of what humanity could become. One day, as the fleet patrolled near a distant star, alien emissaries approached for the first time, cautiously. They came not with weapons, but with questions. They wanted to understand how humans had survived, how they had risen so quickly, and why the valiant dawn had returned. Ethan stepped forward to meet them, Mara at his side. He spoke clearly and firmly. "Humans are not weak. We have courage, ingenuity, and heart. The valiant dawn has returned to show us what we can do and to protect our people. We mean no harm to those who respect life and peace, but we will defend ourselves. Humanity has risen, and we will not be ignored." The aliens exchanged glances, clearly impressed and cautious. Slowly they withdrew, leaving humanity to continue its rise. Word spread quickly. Humans were no longer considered weak or insignificant. They were a force to be respected, a civilization that had survived the impossible and emerged stronger. Back on the bridge, Ethan looked at Mara. "Do you realize what we've done? We've changed humanity's place in the galaxy, forever," Mara smiled. "Yes, and this is just the beginning. The valiant dawn has shown us what's possible. Now it's up to us to live up to it." Ethan nodded. "We will. Humans will rise. We will explore, protect, and survive. And when the galaxy tests us again, we'll be ready. This ship, this power, it's not just ours. It belongs to all of humanity, and we'll use it wisely." Gideon pulsed around them, its voice calm and steady. "Humans have learned courage and ingenuity. They have faced impossible odds and survived. But the galaxy is endless. Many more challenges await. You must continue to rise, to lead, and to prove what humans can achieve. I will guide you, but the heart, the courage, and the will, that is yours alone." Ethan and Mara stood in silence for a moment, watching the stars. The universe was vast, full of unknown dangers and wonders, but for the first time in human history, they felt unstoppable. The valiant dawn had returned, bringing impossible technology, and with it, a reminder of humanity's greatest strength, the ability to rise, adapt, and thrive, no matter the odds. And somewhere in the distant reaches of the galaxy, alien civilizations recalculated their assumptions, realizing that humans were no longer weak, no longer insignificant. They had risen, and with the valiant dawn leading them, nothing could stop their rise. Ethan turned to Mara, his eyes bright with determination. "This is our time. Humanity will rise, and we will not fail." Mara nodded. "Together, we'll show the galaxy what humans are capable of. With courage, heart, and ingenuity, nothing can stand in our way." The stars stretched endlessly around them, the vast blackness of space filled with possibility. The valiant dawn pulsed quietly, alive with impossible energy, a beacon of human strength and ingenuity. Humanity's era had begun, and nothing would ever be the same again. For the first time in generations, humans looked to the stars not with fear, but with pride, courage, and hope. The universe had been warned. Humans had returned, and they were ready to rise.